am I talking to? What's your name?
Dr. Amani Fryer.
Okay.
You said doctor?
Yes.
And why are you here today?
I'm very interested in the Orange Mound community because we must continue to be interested in our community and our heritage because we have to tell our own story.
So now what's your background about Orange Mound? Do you have a Orange Mound history?
No, I'm a transplant from Buffalo, New York, but what I'm interested in, the real point is about the churches. I want to pursue that and see what we can find out about the churches in Orange Mound.
Tell me, who am I talking to?
I'm talking to Bennett Moore.
Now, who are you, Bennett Moore? Why are you here?
I'm here Dr. Williams was my professor at Memphis State back in the 70s. Just to learn more information about the mound that they know, and I'm here for 70 years.
So would you like to say some words? What would you like to say about what you learned today?
Orange Mound is the greatest community in the world, and we're getting a bad rap.
Now, who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Esther Cook Jones.
Now, tell me something, Esther. Why is that you got all this orange on? Hold on. Look, I want everybody to look at you. You got orange shoes on, orange this on. Why you got so much orange on?
Because I love my community.
And what? Tell me about yourself.
Well, my mother was Roscoe and Willie Mae Cook, and my grandfather came to Orange Mound back in 1938. Him and his brother, they built the house on Zanone. That was the family house, and they originated from West Point, Mississippi. So what they did, they came forward to Orange Mound, and what they did was they built the house. When they got through building the house, they came back and got the rest of the family.
So tell me this, why are you here today?
I'm here today because the honest truth, anything dealing with Orange Mound, I'm coming. My mama instilled that in me. She told me Orange Mound is the beginning and Orange Mound will be the end. She told me to have pride and hold my head up. She said, don't you know where you from and do you know who you are? So it's always been in me to love my community. She pounded it in me. Yeah. Orange Mound, she always told me this.
How old are you?
I'm 58 years old.
And you're Melrose graduate?
Melrose graduate class of 1984.
How you doing, man?
I'm great.
Would you tell me who you are?
Irene Wolf Williams, born and raised in Orange Mound.
Okay, where were you raised? What about?
676 Boston Street.
Boston Street, huh? Did you go to Melrose?
12-year society at Melrose.
And what year did you graduate?
1967.
1967.
I go back so far, I remember when the animals were escaping from the zoo.
Let me tell you something. There was a young man in 1967 who was ahead of you. And y'all shooting at the same time, and he changed white folks' minds. And he changed everything. His name was Bingo Smith.
Bobby, yeah. He lived down the street from me.
You live with?
Hold it. Who are you, ma'am?
I'm Evelyn Tidwell.
And tell me about your experience at Orange Mound.
I was born and raised in Orange Mound. I went to Melrose High School for 12 years.
And what year did you graduate?
1960. She's my classmate.
Y'all classmates?
Yes.
Born in 19... Okay, so how old would that make you today?
Too old.
Huh? 75. Okay. Well, look, I'm going to put this on YouTube. And you all need to see it on YouTube. Hey, sir, how you doing?
Good morning.
And so you a classmate of Melrose too?
Yes, class of 67.
Now tell me something. What is it that makes Melrose so different? You all have an alumni that's still together. What makes Orange Mound so different?
People are hardworking.
Hard work.
Hardworking.
Okay. All right. How you doing? Tell me who you are.
Hi, I'm Karen Jackson. I'm a resident in this area. I was actually born in 1967. I heard them say they graduated in 67. I've been over here about 35 years.
35 years. Okay, so why are you here? What makes you come down today?
I'd like to get more details on the history of Orange Mound.
Okay, great. And I know this lady here. How you doing?
I'm delighted.
I hadn't seen you in a long time. Tell me who you are.
This is just wonderful. All the good people are here.
Tell me who you are.
Maxine Strawder.
Okay, you from Orange Mound? Anyway, let me stop.
I'll try one more time. Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Williams here today. I am just going to give a brief introduction about Dr. Williams' achievements and let you know a little bit more about him, and then we'll get started. Dr. Williams is a distinguished professor emeritus in the Department of Anthropology at the University of Memphis, and known for his extensive research contributions in the field of medical anthropology and community health, with a career spanning over 4 decades and specializations in both cultural and medical anthropology. Dr. Williams worked collaboratively to have Dr. Williams with us here today to share his knowledge, wisdom, and insights into this historic and iconic community. Please give it up for Dr. Charles Williams.
All the accolades in the past. I used to be there. Those were somewhere now. I have moved on, and so, but I'm most appreciative of this opportunity to be able to speak a little bit about Orange Mound. I came here in 1979. I met a lot of people. I was coming out of University of Illinois, so I came here and met some people in this community, the Baptist Church, and it just started there. And they just accepted me with open arms and welcomed me, and I have been here since. I'm still in the Beulah Baptist Church. This is Orange Mound is my second home. My first home was in Columbus, Mississippi. I'm a native Mississippian, and but it's something about Orange Mound that a lot of people do not know. It's a gem, and it's just like sometimes people have riches and they're not aware of it. But they keep looking for the shiny stuff, the stuff that moves and shines and glitters, and they overlook what they really have. This legacy that you have here in Orange Mound, this is the legacy. People would die for this. My wife and I and my children, we were traveling in Africa. We went to a bakery and get some pastries and other things. And while we were there, the lady said, "Where are you all from?" We told her we're from Memphis, Tennessee. She said, "Memphis, Tennessee. Have you ever heard of Orange Mound?" What? She said, "Orange Mound." I said, "Yeah, we heard of Orange Mound. In fact, we attend church in Orange Mound. We have a lot of friends." And she said she is originally from Orange Mound, and she married an African, and she was living in Africa and running a small business, basically doing well. But I'm just saying, Orange Mound is all over. So then I knew that you can go anywhere in the world, you can find somebody who knows something about Orange Mound. That's a gem. People need to know that. Young people who keep looking for New York, the Big Apple, LA, Hollywood, Orange Mound will rival any of those places in terms of its legacy and the things that it has contributed. It will rival any of them. In terms of African Americans, black folks, and if we aren't careful, this legacy will get away from us. And you'll wonder what happened. It becomes a memory. You can't stop change. I'm not implying that you can stop change. Change is going to happen. It's going to happen here. Just like it happened with us. In terms of our physical bodies, change is going to happen. But we can capture some things and leave a living legacy for the children and the grandchildren to know that we passed this way by leaving footprints on the sand of time. That's why people want to take it away from you. They don't want you to have this rich history. You know what I mean? I recognize that. It's just like an old gathering. All the people in here, I know something about most of you. At least I know 3/4 of you anyway. They got a few young people who are too young, probably know, I wouldn't know, but the rest of you, we've been around, so we know that Orange Mound is a legacy. You can go anywhere in the world, in this United States, anywhere that's mentioned Orange Mound, and people will know. Oh yeah, the warriors. Some of them were head rag wearing generals. It's Carrie Madlock. It's a head rag wearing general who kept 4 boys in line. Sandy Glover, the Glover family, the Briscoe, Miss Mary Mitchell and her family. I mean, it's all of the people who have contributed and are still in the vineyard. But they're old warriors, but they're still fighting because they know what they have and they got to fight for it. They're not going to give it to you, you got to fight for it. You got to tell the people downtown what you want. This is our community. And one thing about the Orange Mound is kind of, has been a representative of what you call the 901. They're going to do it the way the 901 does it. But Orange Mound has always been in the leadership in terms of the civic engagement. I came here in 79, and I'm still here. And so, my dissertational study was to show that they're not all the same, that there are differences within black communities. So I chose Orange Mound and Binghamton Tillman to look at those two communities and look at the contrasts and differences between them. And that was my dissertation. 2 black communities in Memphis, Tennessee. So let me go through a couple of slides here for you, just to kind of show you a few things. This plaque is right out here, right up here at the community center. So you can read it and look at it. But what it says is that Orange Mound was developed as a Negro subdivision at the turn of the century. 1900, but really it was started in 1890. Really before the turn of the century. Really 1890. It had formerly been a plantation. Yes. Slaves used to try these grounds on a plantation owned by the Dedricks. And their president, Dedrick's president, as well as the slave president, still here. Dedrick's graves up here on Park Avenue, right off from the Speedy, the corner right there, before Larry Grand, that enclosure, that's where they're buried. They're right there. To show you how black people respect people. That grave site has never been desecrated. Respect. That's the end of the talk. The graveyard of former slave owners right in the heart of a black community and hadn't been desecrated They won't even throw trash on it. You know, there's a liquor store right there beside you when they drink their liquor. You think they throw that bottle? Respect. But that's where they're buried, right there. And his name was John George Dedricks. Was the owner who bought this land. 5,000 acres, 5 miles, John, 5 miles from the Mississippi River. I asked, if my good brother Anthony tell me, he said, Doc, but before they came, there were some other people here. He's exactly right. The Chickasaw Indians were here. Native Americans were here. They used to parade up and down Lamar, Pigeon Roost Road, going to and fro from Mississippi all the way back to the river banks of the Mississippi for their pilgrimage. They were here. But Andrew Jackson, well, that's another story. That's another. But Andrew Jackson was determined to wipe out the presence of Native American people, and he did. He took their land, and replaced it with plantations. Winchester, all these other great wealthy people who own property here, buy for little nothing. But don't forget the native people. I have the utmost respect, my family. I have the utmost respect for native people. They earth people, the people of the earth. They're not artificial. The people who live close to the earth and respect the earth, respect nature. Orange Mound is named after this plant. It's called an Osage orange. An Osage orange. Well, some people call them horse apples. Y'all ever seen them? Well, you may find one or two of them trees around here growing locally. They used to be a couple of them down on South Parkway, right in that median. Used to be several of them there. And when in the summertime, after they're growing, they'd drop their apples and they'd be all over everywhere. But they're really called horse apples, but the native name was Osage orange. Well, anyway, when Dedricks came, he found this place, Orange Mound, 5,000 acres. He wanted to build his home, and he built his home right there, right off of Airways. It was Treadvant. It was called Treadvant then, but off of Airways. I built him a palatial estate, 2 stories. And going up to his house, he lined it up with these Osage orange bushes and trees. And that's a whole nother story around the importance. The native people used to use it because it was good wood. Insects would not eat the wood of an Osage tree. They will not eat that wood. It won't rot. So people used to use the wood to do fence posting and all these other things because you could put it in the ground. In fact, the hole in the ground would probably go away before the post would. It was just that Orange Mound was not the largest in the first. I hadn't gotten that yet. I've been doing it for 40 years. There are a lot of black communities came about that went out west, but they came after Orange Mound. They came during the Great Migration. Oklahoma, all these other places. Those communities were developed after. But Orange Mound, now Edenville and down in Florida, was another one that started as a black community. May have been among the first. but it was not as large as Orange Mound. Y'all know about email. I won't get it. That's another. That's a fat man. That's another one, actually. Here's what it looked like. Here's what Meacham used to draw out his plan. Each house had a number. He numbered them. 1, 2, 3, on down to number, come back. They got a hair number. He was gonna sell them. So you bought your warranty deed had your number on it. The number of your piece of property had your on it. This is kind of how it kind of looks. Now, as I try to tell my students, and anthropology, Benny, is you see a community and how, in terms of its proximity, its spatial dimensions, it is contracted for older people because they don't venture very far. So their concept of the community, because they don't travel outside, they don't go across the river, they don't go across Carnes, they don't go all across whatever, Always, Lamar. See, they don't travel that far. I stay right here. So my community is very narrow defined. But for other younger folks, so it was a lot hard to define sometimes what the boundaries. You could get in an argument at the barber shop about what the boundaries are Orange Mound. Well, that's not in Orange Mound. Yo, that is Orange Mound, man. You know how to use it up. What is Orange Mound? We still have a problem. Folks are shot way up at the University of Memphis. And if they're shot, they say it's Orange Mound. That's not Orange Mound. But people do that because it's the closest big name place where you have a lot of African Americans. They say, well, yeah, that's Orange Mound. Happened over in Bethel Grove. That's Orange Mound. South Parkway, that's Orange Mound. Not Orange Mound. Miss Esther's good to see you. Glad you can join us. She's in the vineyard. She's out here working. Put down the guns, trying to keep people safe. Thank you. We need people like that, young folks. But this is the way it looks. But they developed it and it made it a community. And see, the beautiful thing about this Tracy, is that the people, anybody who had a lot of wealth, they said, but y'all talking about this, this is nothing. But the black folks who own anything, this is everything. And they treated each other with dignity and respect. And so on Sunday morning, man could be a garbage collector, but on Sunday morning, put on his suit, put his tie on, he went to church, went up to Beulah. He's the superintendent of Sunday school. He's a deacon. And he's Mr. Important. Respect. Everybody knew him. I was talking to Brother Truett, told me, he said, Brother William, he said, I was in the Army, got in the Army, I had me a few dollars and came home to visit. It was hot, man. It was like, Memphis was hot, Memphis was hot. So I bought me an air conditioner, put it in my house for me and my wife. He said, I came home one day and my air conditioner was gone. My father had pulled the air conditioner out of the window and taken it and given it to another man who was sick and put it in his window. Took my air conditioner. And he said, I went to him, I said, man, I'm grown. You can't take my stuff like that. He said, boy, I brought you in the world. I take you out of this. But that man needed air conditioning because he's sick. He needed that air. Probably the only air conditioning in the whole air conditioning. But that's the community. Somebody hungry, somebody sick, they pull together. Talking about small business, everybody talking. This was the community of small business. Everybody was doing something, trying to make a living, selling wood, selling ice, selling coal, selling something. Fixing hair, cutting hair, cutting lawn. Small people got to make it. I work downtown at the hotel, down at the Peabody. When I leave there, I run home, and I got enough time to get in my car, and I can drive and pick folks up as a taxi. Drive to and fro. People was hustling to make it, to stay in those homes, stay in those shotgun houses. They had to pay that note, and so people were hustling. That's not a bad thing, young folks. That's a different thing than hustling. Hustling means that they're about the business of trying to make a living. That's a hustle. The Orange Mound community riders, and I told you his name from Osage Orange, tract of land located in part of West Tennessee, owned by the Chickasaw Indians. I'm giving the brothers that do. We knew they were here. See, we have to respect Native people. Give them their due. They deserve it. They earn it. They're not in competition with you. People come over trying to make a living. They're not in it. They're trying to live. What would you do? You just stay here and starve to death if you couldn't find any work? You get up and move. You got to go and run and find that job. But other folks will make them out to be the enemy. Y'all got to hate each other, fight against each other. Stop it. People just trying to live. If people can come here and work, pay taxes, let them live. So no, it was not built by black people. It was not built for black people. Who lived there first? Jews. Jews lived in Harlem first. They built it. When they had used it and to their whatever, they moved out, moved away, making it available for blacks to move in. And of course, since blacks have moved into Harlem, then of course many other groups have moved in as well. Spanish Harlem, many others. But anyway, I'm just trying to show you how communities change. But Harlem was not built for black people. Orange Mound was built for black people from day one. So it's unique. I could go on and tell you a lot of other things about Orange Mound in terms of I used to love to talk to Fred Davis about things like Orange Mound. We used to have some long conversation. But anyway, according to Donaldson, Davis and Donaldson in 1975, and that's by the time, see, I was reading all this stuff and all these theories, so I'm reading all this. But they developed 3 general patterns of residential segregation. One, they call it the Burberry and South plantation patterns. Is the model in which the tenant cabinets are grouped either near the plantation house or adjacent to the field that they are that are their responsibilities. That's not Orange Mound. In small towns, the black resident area was usually clustered at the edge of town. That fits more or less. Orange Mound was outside of downtown, the city, outside the city limits. So it fits clustered to number 2. Or an isolated community, small group of cabins, hidden on the back road or in the hills. That was not necessarily Orange Mound. Very small rural community. Basically outdoor toilets. No running water. You have to use wells to get your water. Dirt roads. Rural. Country. But home. Yes. We own it. We own it. So we have something that most other folks don't have. So again, planned community, and we spend a lot of time in Anthropologist talking about planned community, so Orange Mound over that. So anyway, to kind of, and I'm kind of, it's been our time is kind of drawing near, and I want to show you a couple other things. I'm going back, I'm sorry, I'm going back the other way, get the wrong key. But I want to show you a couple other things that, and then I'll ask you a question. I want to get this thing. Now, Orange Mound consists of Census Tract 67 when I was doing it back in the time, and it still is today. Census Tract 67 and 68 that make up basically Orange Mound community. Incomes here in this area have always been relatively low compared to the other parts of the city. And you can see that African Americans, you can see the numbers increasing up to the 70s. Orange Mound is having the same problem in terms of growth and development that Memphis is having. Memphis is not growing. Memphis is losing population. I don't know if that's a secret to anybody, but it's losing population in comparison to Nashville, in comparison to Atlanta, cities that used to rival. That's why our business come and they leave after a while. And it seemed like Coca-Cola knew this some time ago when they moved out. Coke moved out. And another way is to look at when you see the news and you're watching the weather report and you see all of the weather coming through and you see all of the places, and they rarely mention Memphis as what the, in terms of when you look at the broader picture of the weather patterns in the country. But they always point Nashville out. Nashville has outgrown Memphis. Okay. Now, we could be here all day and all tomorrow talking about the Hawaii. That's not my mission today. But there was some regression and some setbacks that happened. That started around the 80s. That impacted Orange Mound. Many of the residents who owned property became aged, fixed income, they couldn't keep up their property, or they passed off, or they left, and they sold it to the children, whatever else, left it for their children, but they couldn't keep it going. And so it became prime territory for what I call people who really are just looking for a place to stay. They are not really community building people. They're just looking for temporary housing. So they're gonna come in and get some cheap housing, some cheap ground housing, And then after they have stayed there a while, and they always had a thought in their head, is I'm only here for a time being. You know, I'm just a short term. I'm not planning to make Orange Mound my home. I'm just gonna, and they know nothing about its legacy. They know nothing about its history. They don't value it. They're good people, some of them. Some of them want to make a quick dollar. So they do some illicit kinds of things. But it affects low income communities. That type of lifestyle is not, they can't stand it. It has some problems. Listen, everything you hear about anything going bad in Memphis, people would normally mention Orange Mound. It could be in Southwest wherever, but it's mentioned Orange Mound. Orange Mound has gained notoriety as a center for rap music. Of course, that's not bad. Because these young folks trying to find a way to make a living, so they're rapping. Nothing wrong with that. With music, it's been a part of our legacy. And let's just face it, whether we like it or not, rap is a part of that legacy. So we have these different groups. Some of you know them, 8 Ball, MJG, and Primo. We still have a lot of these other rappers and other people who live here and made a living. Some of them mean well. But a lot of them want to make a quick dollar, get fame, and not think about the overall character of the community. Assets. John and the anthropologist folks in here, you all know, when we teach you, when you look at the community, you don't look at its problem, you look at its assets. What's good about it? That's the first thing you look at. What's good about it? Well, Orange Mound community has approximately 16 neighborhood watch. This used to be now. I don't know about today. When I did my study, it had 16 neighborhood watch improvement block clubs, 1 community-based credit union, over 40 churches, numerous daycare centers, 3 community schools, legendary Melrose being the head of that, 2 national fundraising, nonprofit development organizations, and here we have community going, Melrose High School National Alumni Association, a rich historical tradition and enduring community spirit. That's Orange Mound. That's what we got to get back to. You got to get back, we got to save this community.